All right, we are live, and bear with me here while I get everything set up. So we're going to be looking at the GoPro Media Mod. Let me go live on Amazon here, and we'll do our live stream on Facebook at the same time too, because we can. So the plan for today is, let me get my Facebook, Amazon going. It's getting complicated now. I'm trying to increase the volume of streaming. So we have a lot of places to go there, and I can share to groups. So let me, oh, cool. I'll share to the Facebook group at the same time. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to hit that. And now I'm going to configure my thing here. There we go. So we're going to click on that and turn that on. Okay, so now we've got everything up and running, and we are on Amazon. Now, if you forget what happened last time, we bought the new GoPro camera. This is the Hero 9. I like it. I took it out, put it in the water. I gotta clean off its lens a little bit here. I did rinse it off after the salt water, of course. Video quality is excellent on this. I'm very pleased with the video quality, but my hope was to be able to wire it into the rest of my video system, and I discovered that I needed another thing to do that with. So now I've got the thing for another $80. So this is load up on your accessories and you have yourself a finished product. So what we've got, let me say hello to friends here as they're coming in. So what we have here is the Media Mod. Now this does, I guess, three things. One is that it adds a microphone. Not that important because I have microphones. The second thing is that it has a mic port, which is really helpful, and I can plug in, hopefully, my Sennheiser stuff. And then we have an HDMI output, which is one of the main things there, and it has a USB-C port. I'm hoping that I can plug in power to that and pass power through, which we'll find out in a minute. So that is today's effort, is to look at all of this. And I want to say hello to some folks here. I got William Wilkinson. I've got Air 10. I've got Romerick. I have Alan. I have Recipe Bob. I've got Crispy. And William meant to say hello and not hell. I know that. Nick Forsopa is here too. So I just remembered that I have to get one more thing. So what we're going to experiment with is getting my Sennheiser stuff to interface. And to do that, I got to find my little microphone adapter thingy wherever I have put it. This is part of my problem, is that whenever I get back from something, I have not been putting things away properly, so I've been really bad about getting things back where they belong, which I need to improve upon, because I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel on some of this travel restriction stuff. So I'm going to be traveling again a little bit more, and I want to make sure that everything is where it should be. So we'll have to play around here a little bit. The good thing is I found what I was looking for. So I've got this. I just need my extra mic pack. You know what, I'm just going to use the handheld mic just because it's handy. Get it? So we'll play around with some of this. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple of things to the product carousel that will be hooking up to this. So let me add those things real quick here on the Amazon thing, because I've got my Sennheiser AVX system. This is what I use for my wireless mics, both here in the studio and when I'm in the field. So if you've ever seen one of my CES reports, we're using this one. And these are the little transmitters. Now these are normally XLR, but they have a 3.5 input here. So we are going to be using that. All right, so I just added some products to the stream here, which we'll get to in a little bit. All right. So let's get moving here. Let's see what we got. So Mark says, yes, I hope this will fix the problem. We'll see. So the first thing I think we'll do is try out the HDMI and kind of work our way up from there. Kim Jones is here. Derek Robinson is here. Martin is here. And Mark is saying that his, well, you know what's funny? I was supposed to, I forgot, all these people just didn't get recognized. Let me just put these people up here. So Kim Jones and Derek and Martin. So I was supposed to go to VidCon. I was going to speak on a panel at VidCon, but then they canceled VidCon. So I was excited about that. That didn't happen. I was going to go down to the Inspiration 4 launch, and I opted against it for two reasons. Three reasons. One is that we have, we're doing really well here in Connecticut with all the COVID stuff. But if I went, and I love my wife, but she was going to lock me out of the house for a week until I was clear from being in Florida. So that was an impediment to getting other work done. And the other thing is that, God forbid I came down with it. I'm vaccinated, but if I had a case, that would have isolated the kids, even if they didn't get it. So I'm like, you know what? It's just not worth it. And then the VIP thing that they're doing, which I was really appreciated being invited to, I opted against that because their VIP thing is at a restaurant, not at the actual launch site. So I was going to try to get credentialed, yada, yada, yada. Long story. I'm going to cover it from here, and we're going to do a fundraiser for St. Jude's, which is the fundraiser that the mission is benefiting. And if you haven't seen it yet, the first 2 episodes of the Inspiration 4 thing are up on Netflix, so definitely check it out. So every trip that I was hoping to do has been canceled so far. However, I'm holding out hope. I'm going to probably make the decision on CES in about a month. So my plan is to go to CES, but like for a shorter trip. And I was planning to do a shorter trip anyhow, even before the pandemic hit. So we'll see how it goes. Handheld Obsession is curious about using this as a portable blogging device. And I think it might work well for that, especially with the integrated microphone. I found that with the regular GoPro, the microphone is not great. It's not bad when it's not wet, but what I found with it, because we took it out at the beach the other day, and the water, when it gets inside of the microphone, until the water comes out, it's kind of dulling the sound. So this is an external mic, which might sound a little better, so we'll see how that goes. Shannon Wilson is joining us on the Amazon chat, likes my computer. Yes, that's my Apple IIgs from my youth back there. It still works. I got to get the new power supply installed on it, but it does work. Mark was going to go to the AWS thing that Amazon has in December. So we'll see what happens there. And Mark says, good thing CES is traditionally very good about people going and not, yeah, exactly. I'll tell you what, everybody, I'm pretty sure we all got it then. Everybody I know who went to CES got sick. Every single person I was in contact with. I kid you not, every single one. Maybe with one exception. There was one building that we were all in that we all came back sick. And I won't go into it again, but I had 103.5 fever for a week. It was, I don't usually get like that, so we'll see how it goes. Carol saw yeah, actually they just interviewed me again today, different reporter, so I'm going to have something up on that a little bit later. So we'll have some more. Z says, from some reviews I've heard, there isn't a lot of difference between the Media Mod and the internal Hero 9 microphone. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I think you want to use that 3.5-inch thing. So we'll see what happens. Martin was saying, I was about to ask about that Mac. Didn't the Rifa cap blow up? Yes. So that was what went on the 2GS. So I guess I could probably run it without it. But long story, this might be a live stream we'll do in the near future. Long story, but a good friend of mine is very active in the Apple II community. And he connected me with somebody that lived locally who was retiring and downsizing. And he had, I kid you not, a car full of Apple II stuff. He was like the curator of the local user group. And he gave me everything. I've got at least, I think, 2 brand new Apple IIgs power supplies in that pile. So we'll go through that one day and see what it looks like. Okay. I would advise, maybe some folks can give William some advice here. I don't think 409 is probably something you want to put on your trackpad. I would look at something you would find, I would probably do something a little less than that. Maybe some like, I'd love to get some feedback on that. What people think is good to put on there. So Carol's saying, did I record? I have not done anything with this yet, so we're going to do it in real time today. And we'll see what it looks like. All right, so let's take it out of the box. We'll start here. I know some of you get really upset when I destroy boxes, so I'm going to cut the box open with scissors so I can preserve it. And hopefully I don't cut my hand open in the process. Yeah, I was not the most patient child when it came to arts and crafts projects in school, if you can imagine that. All right, let's pull it out of the box and see what is inside. Okay, so we've got, oh, that's good. They give you another mounting thing. So you've got another one of these GoPro mounting adapters and the little screw-in thing. I've come to appreciate this more than I did before. And I'm guessing, let's see what this looks like. So this is the actual mount itself. So they have a windscreen for the microphone. So this is the mic on the front of it, and the windscreen kind of goes over the top of it. Now, my understanding with this is that you lose the waterproofing, although it is still splash proof. So I don't think you can submerge this afterward. But hey, check it out. So we've got, I have to go find my adapter now. So here's the ports on it. So your mic input is here. You've got the USB-C here. So I'm guessing you could pass through power. We'll test that. Then you have your HDMI out over there. And then the big question is, do you have to take the door off your GoPro? So let's take a look at the manual here. So that's the windscreen. I'm just looking through the instructions here. So you insert the camera. So you have to actually pull the door off of your existing GoPro. So let's see how that goes. And the question from Handheld, is it a cardioid or a shotgun mic? I am not sure what the mic is. Let's see if there's any specifications on it. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. But there is a website, GoPro.com Media Mod Setup. So let's take a look at that. GoPro.com/Media Mod Setup. I got the wrong thing here. GoPro.com. Yeah, let's do a Google search for it. And apparently this media mod there's also one for the version 8 camera. So this is a feature that kind of came out with the version 8. And they have a lens mod and a media mod. So it is a built-in directional mic. That's what they call it. I'm guessing it's a cardioid if it's directional. But they're not given a lot of specs on the mic. So I'll record something with it so you can hear what it sounds like. But I don't have high hopes for it, but we'll see what it sounds like. So now what it's suggesting you do is take out the existing door. So how do you do that? They actually want you to remove it. Easier said than done. It's like, how do you take the door off? Because it has to slide in like so. And they have this picture in here like you just pull it off. But it doesn't look like it comes off in that way. So let me go check out the instructions on this. Because I think this could get messy. Yeah, clear as mud. Just pull it off. Exactly. Like really, this is what it says here, is like, just pull it off. But there's no, I mean, really? Like this is the waterproofing mechanism for the camera. So is there an easier way to, does it just pop out? I don't like forcing things, and there's like a metal rod that kind of goes in between everything. So let me go and look up the instructions here. And yeah, Mark has a good point here too, that if you buy this, you can't use it on multiple GoPros. Yeah, I'm hoping the door will return because again, you're losing the underwater capability. Simeon says the door on mine has to be angled to a certain degree. Oh, and then it just slides off. Okay, so let's take a look and see. So I don't want to go too far here, but it should just slide off, he says. Let's take a look. So I don't want to pull it all the way out this way, right? Because it'll... And there appears to be like this metal thing that's going across the entirety of it. So let me go look at GoPro Hero 9 remove door. Okay, so this is the battery door. And there is a YouTube video, of course, about how to take the battery door off. So let's scroll through this YouTube video. I was playing this guy back here. Oh, he already did it. How did he do it? Oh, he actually goes all the... Ooh, I guess he's supposed to go all the way up with it. So let me play this back again.
Get rid of the door, GoPro Hero 9, we do need to open it, and just push it a bit harder to the top. There we go.
Okay.
Way now.
So it looks like you push it up to the top, and then it comes out. Oh, there it goes. Okay. All right, so that's how it works. So there's a metal piece here, and so this clamps down on top of that. So I can get it back on. My hope is that you don't lose the waterproofing when you do this, right? So that puts it back on, and then it's sealed back up again. So you just pull it out a little bit further, like that, and it pops out. And then you want to put this in a safe place. So now, what we're going to do is slide this in, I'm guessing. And so the USB port here will connect with the USB port internally. And you're going to have to slide it out to get at the battery, because once you seal it back up here, the battery is encased, essentially. So now we have the Media Mod installed. All right, so there we go. So now we can fire the camera up here. You know, I think what I'll do is I'll start with just an audio check of the mic. And you know what I'm thinking about here now too? To get the, yeah, this is going to be a nightmare, because to get the card out, you got to take it out of the whole thing, because the card's over here also. So that's going to be a bit of a mess. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do then? Let's try to plug it in, and let's just see if that USB port will charge it. So let's go over to the back here. That's the HDMI. And this is the USB-C. So if I plug this in, it does charge it. So you can have the battery in here, and the USB-C port here is pass-through power. Now, I would have preferred if they had like the ability to work with a docking station. That would certainly make it a little more useful. All right, let's see what we got here. Eric is late. No problem, Eric. You're always here. And you need to make the moderator happy here, though. And I guess you could, right, you could transfer, oh, I guess you could transfer data over USB. I guess you could do that. All right, so now let's go find my HDMI cable. And I'm going to wire this sucker right into my video system, because I have an HDMI adapter somewhere, so that I can go from its, so it's using that super micro, so it's not even the mini HDMI, it is micro HDMI. So this cable here is connected to my video system. And we'll be able to do a twofer on this one, because I can feed the audio from its mic into there as well. So So let me just find my adapter. And the way things have been going lately, I am positive now this adapter is not going to be where I last left it. Let me just dig it out of here. Here it is it? Nope, that is a DisplayPort adapter. Yes, I've got this adapter that goes from micro HDMI to regular HDMI. But, of course, it is not where I think it is. I think I last used it with my Raspberry Pi, maybe? Give me a second here, folks. It's got to try to find that adapter. Because this does use the smaller micro HDMI connection. So we got to go find that real quick. I'm always not prepared for class, everybody. But I do have a cable that will work with this. So let me go find it real quick. Unless maybe I dropped it down here. I can see it in my head. I know exactly what it looks like. And once again, it's not where I thought it was. And this is why you should always clean up after yourself. All right, so bear with me for 1 second here, folks. Talk amongst yourselves. But you can see what it looks like with the media mod attached there while I go find that. Oh, and now it's playing back media. That's the one thing I found with this camera is that the screen is really sensitive. So that's the one thing. I'm always like hitting that screen by accident. And I guess you could lock it so it doesn't do that. All right, so hang on 1 second, folks. Let me just go and find that adapter, and we will continue our project today. And rather than look all over for it, I have a cable, I believe, that should just work. I do. How about that? Okay, so we're going to use this one, and I'm going to plug it into my NDI adapter just to make it easier. And that will also give us the ability to see what we're connecting at also. So let me get this out. So what we need is one of these mini HDMIs here. All right. But I'll tell you what, I am really pleased with the video quality on this. I took it out over the weekend down at the beach. And I guess technically it is still the weekend right now. But I was really pleased with the output quality on it. It looks nice. Oh, wait a minute. Wrong cable. Hang on a second. This is the DisplayPort cable. 1 minute. How'd that one get in there? Okay, this is the one that'll work. And make sure, Mark Dell, that I put this back where it belongs when I'm done. I think this is yeah, this is HDMI. Okay. So here we go. Straight from China, from the Shenzhen Liansheng Tech Company Limited. Brand new. And we've got our micro HDMI to HDMI. And these work well with the Raspberry Pi also. So we'll see how this comes together. And Bonnie Allen is asking about news stations. I'm not sure I can help you with that today. I think you might be looking for Amazon customer support, and we are, or me, is a influencer. That's what they call me. All right, let's plug this in. And then we'll pull up the image. Now what I'm going to do, I have it running right now at 4K 60. And now that's plugged in. So let's see. It's becoming one of my science experiments here. All right, so let me grab my NDI input here. And we're going to pull this in. And it may not be coming up yet. Let's see what we get. Yeah, no signal detected. Okay, so I'm not sure if I have to do something to initiate that. But I may end up rebooting the NDI thing too. That might correct it. Let's see, unplug that and plug it back in again. Yeah, so nothing's coming up yet. But I'm not ready to throw it in yet. We're going to go and check the, move this over here a little bit too. I'm going to reboot it. And let's see if that has any impact on it. And it might be something that I have to initiate to get it to come up, but we'll take a look at that in a second. Oops. Okay. So, let us troubleshoot. That's the playback. And I'm wondering if I get a new option on my list here. Oops. Yeah, nothing yet. All right, so let's reboot the camera. And I'm not sure what the output resolution is on this, so we'll have to check that too. And it could be that this cable may not be an HDMI 2.0 cable, although I think it is. Okay, so now we're going to reboot. Oh, there we go. Now we've got something. So maybe you got to boot with the camera. It's definitely picking up audio. Okay, press mode to cycle through options, press shutter to make a selection. Okay, so, and that's the media, but I don't want the media. So I want to go to this. Okay, there we go. Now, how do we get a clean feed out of it? Let's see. Jose is looking to maybe buy this as a webcam and in real life Steadicam. Yeah, it could work well for that. You know, I guess the question is, you know, why would you do a GoPro versus a smartphone, right? Like if you have like an iPhone or something, you could shoot 4K 60 out the front of an iPhone 12 Pro, for example. I think I'm losing my voice. So there we got cinema. So what I'm trying to do here is get the, I want to get a clean output. And now I just screwed it up. I did this the last time too. What did I do to fix this problem? That's the playback again. All right, so then we're back. So let me see what we're getting out of it first. So I'm just going to pull up my IP address, because what's neat about this thing that I'm connected to, which is the NDI device, is that it will work up to 4K 60, and we can actually get an idea as to exactly what it is running with. But I just need to get the IP address of the device real quick. So I think it might be, what I need to do is I need to get like plugged into the gaming room. What I really need to do is get everything in my house on Unify so I can actually see what these devices are, because not all of them pop up where you think they should. Maybe it's this one. Let's see, is that 232? Yep, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I'm going to see here in a second. So it is, yeah, it's just outputting at 1080p 60. So even though we have the camera at 4K, this is 1080p 60. And what I haven't figured out how to do, maybe some of you can help me with this, is how do we get a clean feed where we don't see the battery indicator? And it looks like the battery did just drop a little bit. It's possible. And Simeon's wondering about my lights. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kill the house lights. Let's see if that fixes the shadowing. Otherwise, it's an interaction with my studio lamps. My lighting in this place is really bad. That's one of my projects. So you can see now, I think, yeah, that's looking a lot better. So let's turn it around on me here. So that looks better, right? I think it looks better. But we still have the issue up top there where we have a not so clean feed. So we got to figure out, here I'll put this box here so we have some things to look at while we're trying to figure it out. So if I go into the options here, I guess if I started recording, what would that do? Okay, so that just drops the signal, so that's not going to work. So you can't record and output video at the same time, in case you're wondering. So then it comes back. So that's something to know about. Now I just tapped the screen, and I'm not sure what that did. Okay, so apparently tapping the screen also starts recording. Now I did update the firmware on this. I don't know if there's another firmware update or there's some special firmware update for this, but let me check. Let's check on that also. And I'm sure there's people asking about that. So a clean HDMI out, for those not curious what that means. Oh, I got some support here on the Amazon chat. Once the HDMI cable is connected, the screen goes black, the display will show media. Click the mode power button until you get to the camera icon, then hit the shutter button. This will allow you to a live view. The display screen will show the bottom icons while on the live preview. Press mode until you get to the eye icon, fifth icon. Ah, okay, so we have to press, so let's try this now. So let's go back to our image here. And we're going to hit the option button. So we're going to do this one, and now that's clean. So Aaron Putnam, thank you for the help. I believe you're a fellow Amazon streamer, so thank you for your assistance. And if you're not, you have a check mark next to your name. So there you go. All right, so in short, it looks like we are not getting 1080, or we're getting 1080p out of this, and that is it. So it is 1080p 60. So now the question for you all, I'm going to turn it back on me. Is there a delay in my audio? So do you see a lip syncing problem here? Let me know in the chat. Is there a lip syncing problem? See how dark it is with my house lights off, by the way? So let me know if you have a lip syncing problem. And after that, we're going to try the mic and see how this mic sounds. Right now, I can see it's like blasting my, my thing away here. But the image quality is great out of this camera. If you've got good light, I think it looks good. So let us, and Jose says, I don't see any audio sync. That's great. And we're bringing this in over NDI, by the way. So this is coming in through my network with an NDI adapter. So everyone says it looks good. Okay, perfect. And that's because this mic is going through that camera. So this audio is getting in a little bit quicker than this. I think we're maybe like half a frame delayed. So we'll see. Okay. And I could clap. See, the problem, I can't really clap right now because I'm holding the camera. I probably should put it on a tripod, shouldn't I? But here, I'm not going to slap myself. Let's not do that. Let's bang on the table. So probably a little bit of a delay there. Okay, next step, we're going to do the audio. So let me adjust audio on this real quick so you can hear the mic. And let me go over to, Aaron wants to know, do I have a link to the NDI adapter? I looked for a link to it when I was getting started, and I don't have the adapter link because it's not on Amazon. The one I'm using is this is the Spark Plus. I don't know if they still make this one or not. It's the NDI, it's the NewTek Spark Plus. And I bought this one specifically because it can handle 60p 4K. And it costs about $400. Not cheap, but it is great. Because you can bring in uncompressed NDI and it's just like, boom, like that. One thing to note with the Spark Plus is that on vMix, you got to be really careful with it. And I'll show you the setting that I have on mine. I gotta do this whole thing. I can't show it to you right now. What you have to do is click on this button called FEIM in the latest version of vMix if you're using it. And the reason is that this box, for whatever reason, will occasionally crash vMix. So if you enable the FEIM before you bring this particular box in, you don't have the NDI problems. But there you go. So it looks good. So the camera's still at 4K, but it's going to 1080p 60. I can live with that. Not a big deal. Okay. So we want to test the audio out now. So what I'm going to do, it's like blasting. So I don't know if there's a way to adjust the audio level on the camera itself. But I'm going to turn off my mic. Okay. And hang on. Okay. So now we are running with the mic that is built in. So this is the built-in mic. So let me know how this sounds to you. So this is the built-in mic, the one right here, which is this one. Hear that? And that's with its little wind thing on there. So again, using the Media Mod internal microphone, and it sounds pretty good. Handheld Obsession is wondering, let me pull up your, and actually, how's the audio sync here? Because this should be a little better than what you saw before. Now, the other problem is that if you're on YouTube, we had a lot of audio syncing issues because of YouTube the other day also. So that's a problem. But yeah, this is the mic that's on here. So I'm guessing it's better than what's built in on a GoPro normally, but that's what it sounds like. And then for comparison, so this is my lavalier. So this is my lavalier mic now. So you can hear what the lavalier sounds like. And then this is the GoPro mic. So, you know, not as good. Didn't expect it to be as good, but you can get at it. And Ben says the lav definitely sounds better. Yeah, this is, oh, it's interesting, as a delay on the Media Mod mic, which there shouldn't be because it's built in. So I wonder if there's some latency. I'll have to record some video with it later and see what the latency is on it. David Parker says it's tinny but clear and crisp. So, you know, it may be hit or miss on that, right? So the next thing we want to do is, let me put my other mic back on. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to connect my Sennheiser system up to it. And if you're, and now the mic I'm using right now, sorry for the darkness here, I turned off my house lights. I need to redo my lighting. So if anybody wants to come over here and do it, we'll see how it goes. But this is interesting that a lot of you are noticing a built-in delay with the built-in mic, which you should not have because it's all coming out of the same unit. So there might be some latency with the USB connection for that mic. That's interesting. So I'm going to have to play around with that. You know what I'm going to do real quick, if you don't mind? I'm going to record something real quick. So I have it for B-roll purposes, so let me just do that real quick. Because people might want to use the built-in mic, and they'll definitely want to use the mic I'm about to connect. So let me just do something real quick here. And I'll play this back so I can see it. Okay, so let me do this real quick. Let me go back on my camera here. Go to camera 10. Okay, and this could be a 4K setting issue, maybe. So maybe I'll adjust the resolution down in a minute. Okay, so this is a test of the built-in microphone to see how the lip syncing is working coming in over NDI. Okay, and for the record, there is no NDI native built into this camera. Maybe, see, my luck that the 10 will have that, right? And then I'll have to get a new camera. All right, so let me go pull up what I just recorded. I just want to play it back real quick. And I'll go back on my mic. Now you can hear echo. No more echo. Okay, so let me play this back real quick. Hang on. Okay, so this is a test of the built-in microphone to see how the lip syncing is working coming in over NDI. So I think that's okay. Was I on that mic? It sounded okay to me, actually. Let me try this one more time. Okay, here we go. All right, this is a second test to make sure that I am on this microphone and not the other one. Test, test, test. Thank you. Okay, so let's go back and see. Put my other mic back on. Echo. And let's go back to here. Just going to add that video in real quick. And I can adjust the levels. I didn't see a level adjustment on the unit itself, but there could be something for that. Okay, so here's the one we just did. Okay, so this is a test of the built-in microphone to see how the lip syncing is working coming in over NDI. All right, this is a second test to make sure that I am on this microphone and not the other one. Test, test, test. Thank you. Okay, so I will say that it sounds better than the mic that it comes with, right? And Ben, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate your nice words there. There's some days when it's like, man, I work, you know, you want to get a little more viewership sometimes, right? I mean, it's sometimes the viewership doesn't always match the work you put in, but it's good to see that people appreciate it. And these production items are always tough for me because I don't get a huge amount of traffic, but people do, I get a lot of good feedback from people that are interested in this kind of stuff. All right, so this battery is dying here, so let me plug this in. So this is, now we're going to test out the microphone input on it. And to do that, we're going to use my Sennheiser kit here. And this battery had died, so we're going to charge that while we're going here. Okay, so now the last input on this thing is down here, which is the microphone input. Yes, I'm a little bummed out that it doesn't output 4K. I need to research that to make sure that that's truly the case. Okay, so now that I've plugged the microphone in, it has disabled this one. So this is no longer giving me any sound. And what I need to do now is turn on my Sennheiser stick mic. And we're going to power this on. And I need to, oh, it's already paired. Perfect. Okay, so now it looks like it's connecting. Let's see. Because it is paired up. Check, check. All right, so let me try this real quick. We're getting a lot of stuff now hooked up to this thing. So let's see how this works. Okay, so I am going to turn off my mic. I'm going to turn this one back on. It's a little low, so I'm going to boost the audio coming out of it. Okay. So I think that might be a little better. I can't hear it because I don't have a way to monitor my own audio right now. but I am going to record again. And so now I have my Sennheiser stick mic that I am using over the 3.5-inch adapter. And or 3.5-inch, 3.5 millimeter adapter. And what I need to do now is check and see, am I coming in twice? No, just once. What I need to do now is go in and check and see if we can adjust the audio levels, but I want to listen to this recording first. Okay, thanks. Okay. So there we go. All right, so I'm going to turn this mic off, and I'm going to go now and load that clip into my video player. Isn't this fun when we do these things? Because I'm just like, I am exactly where you are in looking at this, because I just got it, right? We just took it out of the box. We're going to mess around with it, and we're going to see how it works. Okay, so let's play back that clip. Going to record again. And so now I have my Sennheiser stick mic that I am using over the 3.5-inch adapter. And or 3.5-inch, 3.5 millimeter adapter. And what I need to do now is check and see, am I coming in twice? No, just once. What I need to do now is go in and check and see if we can adjust the audio levels, but I want to listen to this recording first. Okay, thanks. That sounds good. I think that sounds good. So yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff plugged in right now. And this Sennheiser AVX thing is great. So this is the mic that I use when I go out on remote shoots. And what I added to it, and I think Sennheiser sent me this to review a while ago free of charge, but I paid for the rest of the system. This is the E835 cardioid head. So this is a cardioid capsule for the top of the microphone. So the one they give you is omnidirectional. This one is super directional. So when you're in one of those noisy trade shows, it'll isolate pretty much right at the top. So you got to keep it really close, and you got to be careful. I do this all the time. When I'm out with it, I sometimes kind of do something like this, and I'll put it on. You can hear what happens. So this is like how you're supposed to hold it, pretty close. And then if I do this, it sounds a lot different because there's a very fine sweet spot on this mic. So what'll happen sometimes, I'll be out doing my CES thing, and sometimes my mic is down here, sometimes it's up here. So I'm often, when I'm editing on the road, adjusting audio to get it to stabilize. It's a nightmare. Oh wait, so we're getting audio shutters, huh? And yeah, we're getting a little bit of the LED lighting problem again. It just doesn't like my studio lights, I don't think. And that's the other problem, is that we had the issue with the YouTube lip syncing problem, which is a whole nother thing. So if you want, go on the Amazon one, because that one does work a lot better. So click on the link, go to Amazon, you tell me if you have a delay on there. But right now we're just going through the stick mic wirelessly into my camera here. And hopefully it hasn't dropped at all. Some people are saying we're getting stutters. Yeah, I would say if you're getting weird issues, go over, this is the second time it's happened. And it could, the one thing that I'm doing differently now is I'm simulcasting to Facebook. And I wonder if YouTube doesn't like that. Like if there's some reason, I don't know, I'm doing it through vMix. So what I would suggest is click on the Amazon link. That's better for me anyhow. But YouTube is having trouble again. And they always mess up my live streams here. So that's part of it. All right. So I think we've tested everything I intended to test here. But what I want to do now, let me switch back to my other mic, because it looks like it's all working. So what I want to do now is let's go and see if there are settings that we can adjust on the microphone side. So let's go and hit the mode button. Let me pull this up for you. And maybe we go over here. Yeah, oh, that's okay. That changes the photo mode. And this is the playback one. And then this gets rid of the, so that gets you back to, oops, what did I do? What did I do? Here, I'm going to reboot the camera real quick. Because it kind of gives you some instructions when you first boot it up. Oh, I think I hit record. Wrong button. Let's reboot it this way. Okay, there it goes, powering off. Okay, so now let's turn it back on again. And normally, if you don't have that FEIM thing running on your thing, it like blows up your vMix. So that's why I have that going there. All right, let's see what we get. Handheld Obsession says it's better over there. I think this might have something to do with Facebook. So I'm going to stop doing the Facebook thing. Nobody's really watching it on Facebook anyhow. So Facebook is just awful on so many levels for me. Okay, so this is the media page. So that's what comes up first. And then if I click here to camera, so what's uncertain to me is how do I adjust any settings? I'm guessing I have to do that when I'm not in HDMI mode. Because if I go here, I can switch modes here. Now, I am curious if this actually changed the resolution. Let me refresh my screen here. So you know what's funny is that even though we've set the mode here, it's like standard 1080p 30, it's still outputting at 60. So it's like fixed. So it doesn't actually change anything. It's just like set to a fixed 1080p. It almost reminds me of the old days when you bought one of these cameras and they would only do like 1080i, even though you could do like 1080p 30, right? So let's see. I want to also thank some folks for following. Ben, Amazon customer, and Caroline for following on Amazon. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we're going to stop doing the Facebook thing. I've got another plan for multi-streaming that I'm going to experiment with next. So that's probably what's causing the issues at the moment. But it's weird because not everybody has the lip sync issue. So, and yeah, there's also some battery drain, right? Because we were at 98% a little while ago, and now we're down to 97%. So I don't know if there's a way to make any adjustment to these HDMI settings when we're in this mode here. The good news is, thanks to our friends on Amazon, we now know how to get to a clean output. Right, that works fine. But yeah, so I'm a little uncertain on some of this stuff. And it seems like the stabilization is pretty good. I'm shaking the camera here purposely. And I'm still confused about this doorbell, by the way, because when we reviewed it, like it's very unclear as to what the 3 hours of free storage they give you is. If you didn't watch my review, it's a matter of much debate right now. We're trying to figure it out. Yeah, I think it looks okay. Part of the problem is I am doing my production. Iceman, thank you for the follow on Amazon. I am doing my production at 1080 30. So I'm having to like reduce the frame rate anyhow. Dom says, on my old GoPro, I'll put you up on my thing here, he had to swipe down for settings. Let's try it. Yeah, so I may have to disconnect the cable here to do that. Yeah, I'm guessing that drain we're seeing is probably because it's consuming more power. So let's go back through here. Yeah, so it looks like you don't have a lot of control over this because I've got, that changes it to photo mode. Because normally you can click into this and then like select a different mode if you wanted to, but I have no way of pulling down the settings on this thing. So let me take a look. I'm going to go back to the instructions because every once in a while it's helpful to look at the instructions. And I'm just going to look through some of these things. And what's funny is okay, so, all right, so I just found a page here. I can't show it to you. I can probably pull it up here. So let's pull this out. Oops. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to pull this up on screen for you all to see. So we're going to pull this up here and have a closer look. And then I've got to get ready for tonight's video. So I've got to get that video uploaded. We're going to talk more about lowcast tonight, everybody, because I've got more to talk about. I figured out why, at least I think I figured this out. I'm pretty sure why they shut down when they did, and you'll find out in the video tonight. Because it was related to a second court order that happened. All right, so with the Media Mod, you are able to connect your Hero 9 Black or Hero 8 Black to an external display or recording device using an HDMI cable. So here's what's interesting. 4K at 16 by 9. So you're only getting 1080p out HDMI. So you cannot get a 4K output on this. So the next question is, how do we adjust the audio levels? You would think they would give more information about it too, right? So let me take a look here. GoPro, this is an in-depth review. And I just received a new media mod for the GoPro 8. Go to solution. All right, so let's see what the solution is here. I'm just looking through this post here. Yeah, so whenever they say this, we'll relay this information to the team in charge. In other words, there's no audio monitor on this at all. Let's see, Media Mod Hero 8 Black. Let's see, let me go see if I can find Media Mod for Hero 9. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Dear team, GoPro Hero 9 and Media Mod settings, they only have 2 options. They're getting more than I'm getting. Although I have the HDMI connected, so I'm wondering if I have to disconnect the HDMI. So let's try that real quick. So we're going to pull the HDMI cable out, which is this one. And that's going to drop our signal. And now, yeah, so I've got, it looks like you can't adjust the settings while the HDMI cable is attached. So you got to get your mic set up before you do anything else. And let's see where those settings are. It's not in here. Voice control, displays, mods. So I got the mod here. Oh, okay, so look at this. So here's the microphone settings. So standard mic plus is what? Okay, so this will increase the mic sensitivity by 20 dB if the audio is not loud enough. So that's like that's kind of crazy, right? Powered mic, used with self-powered mics. So if you have like a, I'm guessing I would use this one with that. And you have line in. So I have mine set right now to standard mic, which seems to be working fine. But it looks like you don't really have a lot of control over this, do you? And you got nothing on the other stuff. Like this is all you get. All right, so let me do a little bit more searching here. But that appears to be what you get for audio settings. Let me take a few more of your questions here too. And Bob here is saying, unfortunately, without the battery, the power supply from the USB cannot compensate for the power requirement to run the GoPro. Yeah, so I'm guessing to that point, they're not using like a USB-C PD. They're probably just using like standard USB. And this is the one thing. So ManRom says, is there any way to lower resolution for your stream? Just came here from YouTube, video buffer stutter here. So actually the resolution on Amazon is 720p to Man's questions. I don't know what resolution you're looking for. I don't think they can adjust that on Amazon. But I'm going to stop. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop the Facebook thing because nobody's watching it. So let me end Facebook. And let's see if that fixes it for anybody else. Because we didn't have this problem before I started doing Facebook. So we'll take a look. Facebook is awful for me. I don't know about you all, but all right. And Dom says, my Hero 8 overheats and shuts off after about an hour is using it as a webcam. Yeah, that's the one thing we haven't tried yet. So why don't we do that real quick? So I can plug it into my Mac here. Let's see what happens. QuickTime Player. So let's go move this into a new window. Let's see if we can get something going here. New movie recording. I'll show you what I'm doing here in a second. And it's not showing up as a webcam, so I guess there's probably some setting for that too, right? So let's go back to connections, right? Connections. USB connection. All right, that's the download. Use GoPro Connect for webcam mode, file transfer editing. So do you need a special app on the computer to get this into a webcam configuration? So I just plugged it into my Mac, although it doesn't seem to be seeing it. Oops. Because, yeah, it just doesn't appear to show anything. Okay, so let's go back. Unless there's like another mode that I've got to put it into. Yeah, so I got to figure that out. Okay, for webcam, go to Connections and change to GoPro Connect. Yes, that's what I did. Maybe it doesn't like the USB cable that I have installed. So if I go back to Connections, USB Connect. I've got it on GoPro Connect right now. But it could be that it doesn't like the USB cable. So let me try a different USB cable. So what do we got here? I got USB cables all over the place, but not the one I need. So let me find another one down here in my messy mess of mess. Actually, I got a nice one that I just took with me on my trip. We took a short trip to see my dad, and I brought my really nice charging cable with me, which hopefully is still in this bag. Let's see. Yes. That's the iPhone one. I take a lot of cables with me everywhere because you never know what you're going to need. Ah, here it is. So this is my USB cable I was looking for. So I'm going to plug this into my docking station here. Okay, so let's try this out. So we're going to unplug the USB from here and plug. And I will say this camera is getting very warm. It always does run a bit hot. I wonder if it runs hotter with the media mod attached because it's like more. Okay, so there we go. So now it is picking up the camera. And I can go to here. Hang on, let's load up QuickTime again. Let's see if we can bring it in as a webcam. Yeah, so it doesn't see it as a webcam, does it? It says USB connected, so the computer is seeing it, but I'm not getting a webcam option. Like it's not, my Mac is not seeing it as a camera that it can access. Yeah, it's just got the built-in camera. So let's see if we can figure this out here. It's kind of a whole new world for me trying to figure these things out. unless there's like a software driver layer that you have to have as well. I will refer to the experts on this. Let me see. Oh, I got to download the webcam app. Okay, so I'll, I'll get that before I do anything more with this. All right. Actually, you guys want to see that, right? Because we want to see if the microphone works with it. So let me grab the link from Mark Dell here. Let's give it a shot real quick. I hate having to install like more software. Mac utility download. Okay, GoPro webcam. I wonder if this is optimized for the M1, because this is like back from August of last year. Oh, now it wants me to restart my Mac. I don't want to do that. And this is like one of those things where it like locks you into restarting. You have no choice in the matter. Alert, to install the software, you must restart your computer. Oh, great. All right, hang on a second. Let's get, like I can't even get rid of it. So does it actually install something, or is it just, like, do you have to run it, or, because I hate these things that just sit resident on my computer. GoPro webcam, I'm just gonna load it up here real quick and see what happens. Okay, so that's up. So let me go back to QuickTime. And let's see what happens here. Yeah, so it's not seeing the camera primarily because I probably have to reboot the computer. So let me do a restart. I will tell you I'm doing this under duress. All right, so I'm going to reboot and we'll see what happens here. But it looks cool with that mod on there. You just don't want to lose your door, because if you lose the door that you took off, you are no longer able to put your camera underwater. Yeah, so I'm going to give this kind of like a 3.5 out of 5, I think. I mean, it does get the video output. I was hoping to get 4K out of it. I mean, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, right? But, you know. So that's one thing. The other thing is that we have been seeing the battery continually deplete even though we're plugged in. And right now, the only thing we've got plugged into it is the audio. The HDMI is not in there any longer. So there you go. Let me let this boot up real quick. I have a feeling that I'm going to have this this GoPro thing stuck at the top of my screen now forever. And that I'm not going to be crazy about. All right. Yep, it is up there. I hate that. All right, I'll adjust that in a little bit. Okay, so let me go get my computer. Oh, wait. Hey, look, I got an audio level now. We didn't have that before, did we? And I definitely did not do a firmware update either. So that's new. Bear with me for a second. Let me just get my browser back open here so I can talk to you all. Okay. Yeah, oh, right, and this is not, you don't need this for the media mod, that's correct. So, and I got the media mod just specifically for the HDMI output. So let me go to get my NDI thing back up again. And we're going to go and create now another window and drop our QuickTime thing in there. So we're going to go new, movie recording. So like there's this software layer now that kind of sits in between. Yeah, it's still not showing up. And it doesn't say it found the camera connected either. So let's unplug this and plug it back in again. Okay, so now the camera is connected and still doesn't see the camera. So this ain't working. I wonder if it's the media mod that makes it, oh, there it goes. Now I found it. Show preview. Okay, so that works. Okay, so let me show you what we're getting here. So I should be able to now go into QuickTime. You know what's funny is QuickTime is still not seeing this as an available camera. Let's try it one more time. let me recycle my NDI connection to the computer. Okay. Sally says, my husband lets me use a cable tester for our USB cables, fix our 4K 120 hertz monitor issue. Sorry, I meant for HDMI. Yeah, the cables can be really problematic on this stuff, for sure. Well, you know what's, okay, so I'm kind of getting almost done with this here because it is, so it's showing me that the camera's, let me show you what's going on here. Give me 1 second. So it's showing me that the camera is connected, but I can look at the preview from the camera, but it's not like showing up as a webcam everywhere I want it. So the QuickTime thing here doesn't have the, there's no option for the GoPro. So, I would say if you want a nice webcam, that one I just looked at from Elgato is probably worth looking at. All right, so the over-under on the media mod. It does output HDMI. That's what I got it for. I like that it's got a two cold shoe mounts, so I could attach. So this, I have a little clip for this mic adapter that I could attach it to the side. So that's cool. You still have access to your GoPro adapter thingy down here, so you could plug in your this and do that, right? So you have that. The microphone isn't bad. The microphone's better than what it comes with. So I think that's probably good. How do I uninstall now this GoPro webcam thing? I don't want it running on here anymore. I'll grab the thing out of the trash maybe. So yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on it. I mean, it seems like a lot to ask that you have to do all this stuff just to get the camera to do HDMI output, because that's really what I got it for. The mic input is good. We saw that it works. You have very limited ability to adjust the audio levels. So let me make some notes here on this. So this is the media mod. Manron wants to know, did the silver cable come with the GoPro? Of course not. You gotta pay extra for that. It does give you like a basic USB cable that it comes with, but no, the cable you got to bring with you. All right, so let's make some notes on this. So the media mod. So pluses. Let's see. So what are we going to say about the media mod? I will say that HDMI out is limited to 1080p only. Latency appears to be reasonable. Hard to, can't adjust. Need to make audio adjustments before output HDMI because it takes over everything. What else do we want to say? Audio input works fine. Yeah, Sally says it seems expensive for a hard plastic shell. Yeah, I mean, it does have some utility, but it could be better. And maybe the Hero 10, so this is what'll happen. Because I just bought this, the Hero 10 will have everything I want, right? So but I like that I was able to plug my mic into it, so that's good. I mean, it's not a total loss, right? But I think people will find it a bit limiting, especially because the HDMI doesn't do a 4K output. But you do gain pass-through charging. However, when HDMI, audio in, etc. is going, the battery depletes. And what's also interesting, so right now we're unplugged completely, but I think this probably draws more power even when you're not using any of its features beyond the microphone, right? So we'll need to do some mic tests in the review. And also should probably show how to install it. So review will consist of mic tests. Actually, we'll start with installation. Mic tests, both the internal and external. Yeah, so I mean, it's a helpful thing. I think if you're doing a little bit more than just holding the camera, this is probably going to be useful. I definitely like the cold shoe mounts on here. I think the camera probably gets warmer with it on, but we'll have to do a little bit more with it. So Manron was having trouble with Amazon. It's kind of funny because usually Amazon works better for everybody. All right, let me just power this off here. And it's funny, I can't remember the last time I used my stick mic. It is still like fully charged. William Wilkinson wants to know if it's waterproof. So they say that this is water resistant, which means that while you could submerge the camera itself, you should not submerge the camera with the media mod on there. So we should probably note that also. Okay, that's a good point. And I got to get moving here in a minute because I got to get the video uploaded for tonight. So George says the only reason why there could be some. See, I think if they just made it like a standard, where they call it UAP or UWP, that standard webcam USB mode like all the other cameras are using, that would have probably made it easier, right? So Robert says if it's plugged, that's a good question. Let's try that. Let's take the battery out and see what happens. Now here's the procedure, because right now, let me turn it off, because you actually have to take the whole thing out to get the battery out of it. So let's figure out how we can get into this thing again. So we're going to lift this up. So you lift it up like this, and let's push it out. So you have to kind of pull it out. Okay. So it disconnected. Let me shut it down properly here. It is definitely a lot warmer than it usually is, but we've had it on for a while. So I'm going to pull the battery out. Let's see if it even turns on without the battery installed. So I put it back in. We've got no battery, but let's connect the USB charging cable. And let's see how it goes. And I haven't really done much with battery life on this yet, so I need to research that a little bit more, what the battery impact is. Okay, so now I've got it plugged in. I bet you it doesn't even turn on. Oh, it does. The screen is dimmer. The screen's dimmer. All right, so now let's try the HDMI again, because that'll be a good test of this, right? If it just like clips off when we do this here. So let's go add my HDMI input. And Jose's wondering about battery life. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to do some more research on the battery implications. I will say that the display, as you can see, is noticeably dimmer without the battery installed. And I'm willing to bet you that once we get this HDMI in here, it's just going to shut down. Okay, so now it's plugged in. Let's see. Actually, it's coming back up. Because remember, it was depleting the battery a little bit. I wonder if, here, so let's go into the camera mode. Yeah, it's still going. So let's try the mic now. Let's just get the mic installed here and see what happens next. And a reminder, if you want to get a clean output, you click on the little thing there, and that'll get rid of everything. So let me turn this back on. And we'll plug in audio here. So remember, we're outputting HDMI. We've got the microphone installed, and there's no battery in there. And it seems to be working. So that's weird that it was depleting the battery before, but now we've got the camera operating. So we've got full operation. The audio input is in, and there's no battery. The battery, as you can see, is right here. So it looks like it'll work with no battery. You know what it could be? It could be that it was, I don't know. It's hard to say. But it definitely works without the battery installed. So we should make a note of that on our review list here. Woo. Let's make a note of that. So no battery. All right. Save your door. But when we pull out the cable, so let's try something now. I'm going to pull out the cable for the HDMI, which is the black one here. So we'll disconnect that, and then it comes back up. I have a feeling that if we install the battery, that the screen's going to get brighter. So let's turn it off. And then let's take it back out and put the battery in. So Jose says this is a no-go for a webcam as well as I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sold on this as a vlogging camera in the way that you're looking at using it. And I'll be honest, I think if you've got an iPhone or one of the new Samsung phones, those cameras are excellent on these phones. To the point where I think you get a lot more functionality. Like if you're going to spend money on a camera, I mean, stabilization on these GoPros is great. And actually, I know a lot of YouTubers, especially in the automotive space, are using GoPros. Like Hoovie's Garage, he's doing a lot of great work with his camera. So I think they're recording, yeah, so the screen's a lot brighter now. So it looks like the screen brightness reduces. But the USB port now is charging the battery and the camera. And it could just be, I don't know, it's hard to say. Paul's wondering, would it let you record without the battery? That's a good question. I did not try that. So let's try that. All right, one more thing we'll try. We'll try record without the battery. That's a good question. This is why I do these live streams, because I don't even think of some of these things. All right, so we're going to turn it off again. And we're going to try to record without the battery. So let's pull this out. Sally says, what company would you suggest for USB? You know who I'll tell you what, I get the Amazon Basics cables, and they usually work pretty well. Theirs are good. Cable Matters are good. People spend a lot of money on cables, and they don't need to. Because if you get a cable that's rated for 4K or whatever, like one of the Amazon Basic ones, it should work. And if it doesn't, return it. Okay, but yeah, most of my cables are Amazon Basic cables, including the ones that I use for production. Like the cables that I'm using this very moment are Amazon Basic cables for all of the video that you see right now. All right, so I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to plug in the audio again. And let's boot the camera back up. And it's brighter again. Look at that. So I don't know, maybe I must have pushed something incorrectly before. All right, so now no battery. Let's hit record. And it's recording with no battery. And we have audio from the microphone. Do we? It's really low off the mic. I wonder if the mic isn't working. Hang on. So let's stop that. Oh, you know why? Because I have the external mic plugged in. Okay, let's try it again. All right, so here we are recording with the Media Mod and its built-in microphone. And both displays are working, no battery. So it looks like you can record. And Robert says, Anchor cables are also very good. Yeah, Anchor are great cables. And especially on the USB cables, I found that they make really good USB cables. Because I use an Anchor cable, or was using an Anchor cable for my Oculus Quest headset. So Anchor are good. Cable Matters I've had good luck with. Amazon Basics have worked. So that's good stuff. Yeah, I don't think Paul gets what we're doing here, Mark Dell. This is a live stream. All right, so cool stuff. And I think a lot of people do production with these cameras, especially HDMI output, because I would want that if I'm out in the field for a secondary camera. If I'm doing a live stream with vMix or something, I want to be able to bring that stuff in. So I definitely would do something like that. Robert says braided yeah, I like the braided cables. I've been buying more and more of those because they don't tangle up. I've been buying braided Ethernet cables lately also. Those have been working really well. All right, I'm going to turn off my mic here and turn off my other mic here. So I think I've got kind of what I need to work on this tomorrow. Yeah, you know, it just kind of bothers me that you got to spend $80 to get features that should be built into the camera to begin with. But, you know, so let's put the door back on here. There we go. So now I'm back to like my regular stock GoPro. So that is that. But I'll tell you what, I'm really pleased with the camera. I did get out there, as Paul was asking me to do, to try it out, and I did. I got the camera wet. I put it underwater. I don't go underwater, but my camera did. And it worked great. And it didn't break after being in salt water. So it's, that's one thing I do like about these is that in the old days, you had to get a underwater case and make sure it was all enclosed in that. Now you can just throw the camera in the water. And I got that floating handle thing too. So that's, that worked out really well. And it does float. And you can see my review on the Extras channel. Okay. And Paul says, thank you for trying without the battery. You're welcome. Yeah, I was curious about that too. So, and the stabilization, see, yes, I will give you that. I think the stabilization on this has been very good. And I even handed it to my little one, my 5-year-old, and she just kind of ran around the beach with it. And it does stabilize really well. I think if you have like a handle attached to it, it probably does better. And yeah, I think a big part of their business is the accessory items, right? So we'll have to see. See, here's my problem with the webcam thing. I don't think you should have to use you should not need separate software to get a webcam function to work, because most of the webcams that I buy, you plug them in and they work without any drivers. This requires a driver, and it's staying resident on my Mac. So even if I don't want to use it, the software is loading and occupying memory on my Mac. I hate that, because right now, I've got it on my screen right now. I can't get rid of it. I can quit it, but I can't like uninstall it. So I'm going to have to go figure out how to get this out of my computer now. So maybe they'll fix that on the GoPro 10. But I won't use this as a webcam. So I'm going to see if there's an uninstall option. Customize. Can't even uninstall the darn thing. Go back. Ugh. See, now I got this thing that I can't get rid of. I hate that on the Mac. So I'm just going to delete it and hope that I got like this software that cleans out stuff. So I'm going to put that in the trash. Oh, it's in open. Let me close that. Oh, it's like zapping me. Let me go close this out real quick. Here, quit. Yeah, so we're going to take that out of there. And hopefully my little sweeper thing will do that. Robert wants to know, does it work in Zoom as a webcam? I'm assuming it would. But I would say that if you're looking to get a webcam, get a webcam. Because just from what I experienced so far, having to install separate software, not a fan of that, especially because it's resident. And George says that, yeah, that's right, I think the iPhones have a similar level of water resistance now. I think that's probably correct. Yeah, so I'm guessing the stabilization would be a little bit better on the GoPro. So I guess it's up to you how you want to approach it. I would say for me, if I was using this as a vlogging camera, which might be one of the uses I use it for, I would probably attach my microphone with the Media Mod. That's probably what I would do with it. See how that works. One option would be to record the audio separately on a separate recorder, but that adds complexity. Babahab uses theirs with Zoom, and it works great. And Mark is recommending using a cell phone. That's another good idea. Yeah, reviewed that Elgato webcam. That one's pretty nice. It's 1080p 60. Check out my review of it because it's very forgiving for different lighting conditions. So I found that one to be pretty nice. It doesn't have a microphone built in though. So bear that in mind. All right, listen, I got to get moving here, folks, because I've got to get tonight's video up. Tonight we are talking about Locast again because there's more to the story. And I suspect that I don't want to sound like I know everything, because I don't. I don't want to sound like I know it all here. I suspect from something that I found in the most recent court order from the judge as to why they shut down when they did. Because remember, the day after the ruling, they stopped charging for memberships, and then the next day they just shut down completely. And I was thinking, what changed between the 31st and the 2nd? Because the order came out on the 31st. September 1st, it was, hey, we're going to stop charging people. And then September 2nd, they're like, we're done. And you'll see tonight why they are done, because of another order, another court order. That's the Locast thing. Very interesting stuff. So we'll see. Okay, so that is the Media Mod. Yeah, I would say like 3.5 out of 4 stars. The microphone's not bad on it. You can get your audio, external audio. I mean, the fact that it's got the mic jack, I think, is really useful. For sure. Jose wants to know, do I recommend an ASTC 3.0 box or somewhere I can get live free TV on my laptop? Yeah, I would say look at the HD Home Run box. I forgot what they call it, but they have an ATSC 3.0 box. It'll work with the older signals too, so it's backwards compatible. That's the one that I like, although it's not like a portable thing. So I have to look at USB tuners. I haven't looked at those lately. What I want Locast to do is open source their software. So there you go. All right, that is going to do it. Yeah, YouTube is all screwed up. I haven't changed. The only thing I changed since we started doing this, I'm just looking through my settings here. Yeah, I'm using, I think this is YouTube, but we'll see how the next stream goes, because I'm stopping the Facebook thing. So let's see if that changes anything. And Paul says, yeah, I think this is one of the problems that GoPro has. They have problems and they have not so big problems. I will say that the video quality on this GoPro is very close to my iPhone 12 Pro's video quality, at least for like the wider angle shots. I'm really pleased with the video quality out of this. And this costs a lot less than an iPhone 12 Pro. And you get a much wider lens versus the iPhone 12 mini or whatever the least expensive iPhone 12 is. So I think they're priced correctly, but I think they're getting squeezed. And if people have a nice phone to begin with, they may find that that phone is enough for them, right? So that's how that's going. Mark Dell suggests maybe I should try Twitch. And you know, I would do Twitch, but here's my problem with Twitch, is that once they start you on the revenue path, you have to be exclusive to them if you're earning revenue. And so like I would build up this following and there wouldn't be a revenue path because I'd have to stop streaming everywhere else. And it's not that, you know, the Amazon thing is even though Amazon owns them, I don't even think I could stream to Amazon unless they do a carve out there. So I got to figure that out. Maybe I'll get in touch with them and ask them about it. Yeah, I got to look into this too. So, well, thank you, everybody. Hey, Chris Allegretta is here, just as we're getting ready to wrap up. We're wrapping up because I got to do the wrap up. So that is next on the agenda. And I got to figure out my lighting now, because I kind of like this, but the back looks really dark. So I don't know. You can all give me some advice. Email me, Lon@Lon.TV with lighting advice, because I need it. Right, so you could upload a recorded video from a live stream, but you can't live to YouTube. And what I want to do is actually start streaming out to more places. So I'm in the process right now. So here's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking YouTube, Amazon. I get no viewership on Facebook, but why not if I can make it work? So The next stream that I do, we're going to go back to my old configuration where we're not going to Facebook. Let's see if it has any more audio syncing issues. So we're going to do Amazon, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and what was the other one I wanted to do? Maybe the Discord. I wanted to go to 5 different ones, so that's what we're going to look at doing. We'll figure it out. All right. This was fun. Thank you all for helping me out, and I will be back again, usually around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So set your notifications. Follow me on Amazon because you get a notification on the Amazon app when we do that. So there you go. So thank you all for tuning in, and thanks for the regulars who always stop in and help me out. LinkedIn, that's right, Mark. That's correct. It's LinkedIn. So Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Amazon, maybe Twitch. Maybe I could do Twitch and just link them out to the Amazon thing. Maybe that's what I'll do. Okay, we'll figure it out. But thank you all for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one, which might be in the next day or two. Bye-bye.